have the amazing one and only Paul Gilbert in the house, everybody. Thank you, Paul, for joining us.
It's great to be here, Herman. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for already inspiring. Herman and I have co-written a song already and getting ready for this. It's called Bitter Man of the Music Business. And it goes, I'm a bitter man of the music business. It was better the first time, but anyway, it's a start.
Yeah, I know.
And we're not. I don't think we actually are bitter men of the music business. I think we're actually optimistic and really having enjoying the whole journey, men of the music business.
I think guitar have brought me a lot of joy. Well, thank you so much for really coming to hang with us. And of course, we have discussed about this guitar that you have donated. Yeah, let me bring it over. Wow, this is.
Yeah, that was a 90th anniversary. Hoshino's the company that owns Ibanez guitars and Tama drums, and they had a 90th anniversary. They actually started as a bookstore, and they became Ibanez. And they had a 90th anniversary celebration. They made I think they made a 90th for myself, for Steve Vai and Cetri. I can't remember, but that one has got really cool like mother of pearl binding all over it. And I played it on stage with Steve Vai and Andy Timmons for that concert. It's time for that guitar's journey to help support Jason Becker and whoever buys it. I wish you some great tones and wonderful times with that guitar.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, this is a very special guitar you're donating, so thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for putting that together with Jason. I know you're putting a lot of time in and really doing a great thing for him.
We just had the press release that came out today. Is Jason Becker's guitars are being auctioned off at Guernsey's auction, very special auction. They sold the Jerry Garcia guitar for like $2 million a few years ago.
Wow.
So they know they have the right buyers, I think, with deep pockets that hopefully will bring a lot of money to Jason's family. So many fans been asking for you. I know you've been busy. You just had a new album that came out, right?
I just so happen to have
Werewolves.
It's the Werewolves of Portland album. There's me looking. The other day, I was looking. I think it was Reverb, and they had they were advertising some event or something, and it had like about I don't know, maybe 12 pictures of notable musicians. I knew some of them, like Paul McCartney was one of them, and a bunch of new people that I'm not familiar with. But there's some event with notable, excellent musicians, and everybody was kind of frowning. Even Paul McCartney's frowning. Where'd they find a picture of him? And sort of my art director, he found like the one photo of me where I'm frowning. Actually, I won't blame it on him. I think I'm the one to send it, but I sent him other ones, and he picked that one.
So something you told me, you played every single thing on this new album, right?
Everything except there was one snare roll. Because I'm not like a rudiment kind of trained. I never went to marching band school, so that I don't know how to go. So I had to hire a real drummer to come in and do the snare roll. But everything else, I played all the drums, played all the bass, a little bit of keyboards because I know the chords. It was instrumental, so I tried to take my singing parts and play them on guitar. And I did something pretty sure I've never done before. I had a melody, and it's got a 7-beat note in the melody. That might be the longest note I've ever played. So it's a long melody. It's actually the beginning of it's about my guitar, because this is a fireman guitar, which is an Iceman upside down. And if you cover up that, and the guy most famous for playing the Iceman is Paul Stanley. So to me, it's Paul Stanley's in Kiss. So I in the lyrics, which I don't sing because I'm playing on guitar, but the lyrics is I talk about the upside down guitar from the guy in Kiss. What gives life meaning? What makes me want to get up in the morning? What makes me want to tell my friends that they gotta see this? Like an upside down guitar from the guy in Kiss. Oh, and when my love comes home, it's so meaningful. And it keeps on going. But I wanted it to be an octave higher, so that's why I played it like on guitar, or it's in C. But at the very end of it, after like 10 more the 100 more notes. I'd have this. It's over F sus2. So that's 7 beats. Na, 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 na. And I've never, I play 16th note triplets. That's like, I can do the math. How many notes per beat is a 16th note triplet?
That's no idea.
It's more than 16.
Let's do some jam. So as you know, I haven't actually really played the guitar recently.
Do you want to warm up?
In what way? How do we warm up?
I'll show you my warm up. This is patented Paul Gilbert warm up. It's all upstrokes, and you have to mute everything with your hand as you're on the bridge. And after that, you're warmed up.
This is not easy at all. It sounds easy. It's very difficult. My hand can't help itself by going alternate now and then. Interesting. I'm going to give it a try as a practice. A lot of memory of these riffs and music and in your brain. It's just like, when I learn a song, I lose another song, right? So my brain can only have about 14 songs, just enough for me to do a show or tour.
Well, you're probably memorizing the hard ones, because there's songs like that. I mean, almost anything from my instrumental solo stuff, I can't remember that because it's complicated. The stuff I know, like I can remember, all the Beatles songs, because they're built to be remembered. That was the magic of a good pop writer. Is they build something where the structure teaches you the structure. So, you hear Hey Jude twice, and, it does the na 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 Hey Jude 100 times in the song. And by the end, it's like, I think I got it. Lately, I've been working on all these vocal melodies, and that's been amazing. I remember I had the most humiliating moment, which was I was at a Christmas party. This is, I don't know, 10 years ago. It was in Japan, and everybody in Japan can sight read. So somebody put a score up for Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now, you'd think that I don't need the score because, that's a song I've heard a lot of times. I can rip in C major. That I can do first take, but to go... And then, I got lucky with that, but then the next part is like, okay, now it's over the 5 chords. What do you do there? Da, da, da. It's like, and when you get it wrong, it's like really wrong. I just didn't have that horizontal kind of way of playing on the neck. Everything was sort of vertical scales, and it was horrible. Like listening to myself going like, oh, this is painful. So it's very different than just hitting the note right on the head. You always got to sneak up on it from the side.
We're always developing our guitar techniques to make it sing better and, how to say, project what we're thinking in our mind better, right?
It's a voice, and of course it's different. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do on a guitar is wonderful and is very different. In RACER X, a song called "Scarified," which is not really the kind of thing you would hum. You wouldn't go through you wouldn't sing Eruption. Eruption came out when I was like 11 years old, and everybody from my generation was like, that's the shining beacon we got to follow. And it just messed us up, because that's free form. There's no rhythm. You can't clap along. There's no, it's and free form's okay, but eventually at some point Alex is waiting for the song to start. And you got to learn how to play in time. So that I've got an online guitar school, and I make everybody stomp so they can feel the time. It's amazing. I'll see people with metronomes. I can't believe how many people like turn it on and totally ignore it. But you're less likely to be able to ignore your foot stomp, although I've seen that too. Obviously you have a drummer, but the drummer shouldn't be the only person in the band who has a solid sense of time.
With your online school, tell us a little bit more about it, actually. What is it? What kind of stuff are you teaching on that?
Well, the thing that makes the school a living, breathing, different everyday thing is it has something called video exchange. You can upload a video of you playing. And then I make a customized lesson for that student based on what I heard. So it's me talking a little bit, but it's more playing. Like I'll say just if you learn this phrase, you don't even have to listen to me. Just by learning the phrase, you'll learn the technique, because there's like no other way to get the phrase to work. So I do that for each student when I send in a video, and then my answer video gets paired with their question, and that's called a video exchange. And I've done like over 11,000 of those since the school started about 10 years ago. And they're all in the archive. So if you search for, alternate picking, type that in, 500 alternate picking videos will come up.
You also have the guitar camp. Is that kind of related, or how does that work? That's happening next week, right? The Paul Gilbert guitar camp.
That, if you want to do that, you got to do it soon, because that starts on Monday. In Long Island, New York. It's called the Great Guitar Escape, and every time I have some amazing guests. This time it's George Lynch, Eric Gales, Tony McAlpine, Greg Howe, Bumblefoot, and Mike Varney. At one point or another, we've all been recorded for his label, Shrapnel Records, and then we all jam over. And I try to jam with everybody. I'll jam with like 90 people, and until I played with everybody. It's nice to be in an environment where everybody's just into it, because that's not always the case. I mean, even like I've got a family. They're not big fans of my music.
Same here.
While my son's watching his cartoons, he doesn't want to hear me practice. He's like, "Dad, put the guitar away." So it's wonderful to be with like-minded people that are into the guitar, that are happy. Everybody's playing, and just sort of be in that world for a little while.
How many days is that for?
It starts on Monday and it ends on Friday. Wow,
that's a whole week of guitar nerding.
At the end of it, your spirits are lifted for sure, and your fingers are worn out.
We have a lot of guitar nerds here. You're the right channel.
Well, let's define what a guitar nerd is. Pick out 3 good things about a guitar nerd, and then the 3 not so good things about a guitar nerd. Let's start with the positive. What's a good thing about a guitar nerd?
We can be a hoarder while still looking cool and normal. Look at the guitars behind you and me.
Yeah, there we go. What's another good one?
What's good about number 2? You pick one. It's your turn now.
Okay. This is I hesitated to say this, but it's the first thing that came to mind. I'm gonna say it. I remember being like 17 years old. I was practicing in my room, so into it that I drooled on my guitar. Like, and it surprised me. I'm like sitting there, and all of a sudden, blah, and I'm like, like, oh no! And I never did it again. It's just that one time. That's how into it I was. I was so into it that I forgot my mouth. And if you can forget your mouth, you can forget a lot of strife and difficult things, and you can just be in this really great musical space. And so
Number 3, I would put it is in a more serious way is, and I'm sure a lot of people agree, is the guitar had made so many positive things in my life. It's incredible. I'm just a kid from Hong Kong. Look at I'm in Los Angeles now. I wanted the signature guitar of Ibanez. I did it for 12 years. I tour around the world. I mean, I learned a lot of things from the challenges the guitar have given me, and those challenges have made me stronger, in music and in life.
When you put time into guitar, or, something similar, a musical instrument, you're kind of building your superpowers that are all wrapped up in the instrument. Suddenly you've got this dimension that you've opened. The word I like is superpower. You've been able to build this superpower that you can only have when you've got the guitar. It draws people to you. People, I mean, except for my son, people like it. And I think someday, I think he's just messing with me. I think someday he's going to go, "Dad, you're all right."
Does your son, play the guitar? Do you teach him to play the guitar?
What we do is he's really into dinosaurs. So I'll tell him, I'll say, "I'll get you that I think right now he's waiting for a pteranodon. And I'll say, if we get a little piece of paper and we put 15 squares on it, and every day he strums. I put an acoustic guitar on him. I do the chords, and he strums through a whole Beatles song or whatever. Beatles usually the choice, but occasionally Badfinger or Beach Boys or something. And if he strums through the whole song, then he gets put a star, and after 15 stars, he gets the pteranodon toy. And so he's starting to be pretty good at strumming. And also, like, I can tell, like, the other day, he really wanted to do his own groove. Like, he came up with this strumming groove. And so I listened to it, and I found a song that it would fit. And it's like, yeah, he's just getting the feel of like what it feels like to pull music out of this thing. That's the good part. That's the magic. And then, at some point when his finger's big enough, I'll show him a chord, and then he'll be on his way.
Yeah. Now, let's get some questions from the chat.
I didn't realize Paul was blind.
They said you used to live with Satchel from Steel Panther a long time ago.
Yeah, he rented a room. It was after I got my house. I got my first house, and it was right at the time I was touring with Mr. Big all the time. So I wanted somebody to keep an eye on my house. He was in my guest bedroom, and I'd go on tour, and he would use I had an 8-track Tascam cassette recorder, and he would go into my studio and make the most awesome demos. And I'd get back from the tour, and he'd play me the demos and be like, "Man, that was my studio? You made that incredible sounding demo?" I'd be, "How'd you do that?" And he's like, "Well, I put time, like worked at it." I'm like, "Oh, that's how you do it." Because I never had patience. Like, to me, a demo, I was just I was in a hurry, to get it done. But he'd like make it a full production and make these incredible sounding demos.
Do you have any other hobbies outside of the music stuff?
For a while, I cooked because I like to eat. For my 18th birthday, my mom sent me a wok and a Chinese cookbook. I read the directions and made some spicy peanut chicken or something, and it turned out really good. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Man, I did it! I didn't get food poisoning, and it tasted good."
But I guess that was a good thing, because now you gotta cook for, the kid and everything. Being a dad is a whole different challenge, right? You thought guitar playing was difficult. Now it's like, oh wow.
Guitar playing, I kept getting better at it. Being a dad, I don't know if hopefully I'm getting better. I think I might be, actually. That's another thing, actually, is drawing. I've made a bunch of children's books for my son, and that came in handy because my drawing got better from just working on his books. And then when I did release the first single from my new album, the single's called "Argument About Pie," and I wanted to make a video for it. So I actually I drew the video. I made a ton of pictures and drew them all, and it might be the first lyric video for an instrumental song. I'm curious if I'll be a trendsetter. If anybody else will make a lyric video with no singing
or instrumental guitar. That is cool. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What are the gem of my guitar collection? The thing I've discovered that awakens the beauty or the tone of any guitar is to get the action up, and it's it's a little bit, it breaks your heart a little bit because when you get the action up, you can't like, the left hand has to work so hard. If I play like Scarified with that middle part, I'm just fighting it, to get that to come across. But it's worth it because when I bang away, I still like it doesn't get buzzy.
So it's very interesting that you're using 8s, because a lot of people say, if I want a better sounding guitar, I gotta get heavier string.
It's if you bend a lot, that's the trick. If my job was to like play G bar chords all day, if I had to be like the guitar player for the Steve Miller Band, and then I would probably want heavier strings because the tuning is going to be better. Somebody said before, I didn't know Paul Gilbert was blind because I was like looking like using the reading glasses part of my glasses. I wanted to try the Axe Effects, I think it was, and it was right at the time when I didn't realize that I needed reading glasses, but I did need reading glasses, and so I was so frustrated because I was sitting there trying to look at the display, going, it just made me angry. So I sent it back. I should give the X-Effects a second chance. Now that I can read. But I don't know. I like being in the same room with the guitar speaker. So somehow it feels more real that way.
It does feel good to have the guitar coming out of an amp instead of your monitor speaker. You know what I mean,
there's something about the monitors. I don't know. It's
yeah.
But you want to feel it vibrate. You know?
Yeah, feel the air coming and reacting with your guitar, pushing back it, getting the feedback.
Okay, what else we got here? The Green 1060 Mind. I think it came from two things or three things. First of all, I had the chords. And I wanted to come up with something that would outline that. At the time, this is like early 90s, I had just gone to see Guns N' Roses, and Slash had that, I don't know how to play it, but the Sweet Child of Mine, real, intervallic, big octave jumps in it. And I thought, man, that sounded cool. And so I was thinking, well, what can I do that would sort of go over this, that have big octave? It was tricky to learn that one. It took some practice.
Very cool. I got to ask you though, and I think this is something that people will find interesting, is that you said your hearing is not as good as it used to be, right? And how
it wasn't like I woke up one day and there was some radical difference. It's been a gradual journey into pretty bad hearing loss. What it is certain frequencies are gone. So basically, I don't hear any treble. The good news, I can still hear and feel my notes, and I'm no good with treble. So I can't tell, and treble's a little painful. Like if I have a wah-wah pedal, I don't really want to go to the trebly end of it because it's just like ouch. So I'll still stay on the bottom of the wah more often than not.
Does your family says you're always shouting now?
My poor wife has to be basically like a radio announcer all the time.
You did pick a blues kind of backing track to jam over, which I'm totally terrible at. You can demonstrate to me this amazing skill and maybe teach me the tricks of how to improvise over, because I got no blues vocabulary in my brain.
I'll give you the 15-second blues lesson. This is a horrible key. It's key of B flat. But you know pentatonic scale, right? Or do you know that?
Yeah.
So the next thing is like just move that down to G, 3 frets lower. Now the only thing you got to get used to is when you're in B flat, where's your home? It's B flat. So you go, and you tend to land on that home root note. Yeah, and normally that works for you. But with this trick we're going to do, you can still hit that note, but you don't want to like linger on it as an ending. So I'll give you an example. You're down in G now. And you go down to where it feels like home, because G feels like home. That's like where your fingers used to going. But go back and hit, what would have been your third, because that's your new root. Because now you're playing over a B flat. Yeah, as long as you just end up on B flat and you're good. The trick is you play the major one, that G. That's major blues scale. You play that over your 1 chord. So that's where you make your phrases.
Oh wow!
And it ends up being that box pattern. So that's the trick. Is like I'll do a quick little demonstration. So you do the 1 chord, then the 4 chord, until you 1. Now you got your 4 chord. Back to your 1. And that's the trick. So you go major on the 1, minor on the 4 and 5, and it's just that little 3 fret thing. That's like your survival skill.
I just need to move that same pattern down and up 3 frets.
Yeah.
Survive.
Yeah, 3 frets, and then make sure that you got to remember that what used to be your strongest landing and on your root, that you can still do that note, but you don't want to emphasize. You want to go back to. So if we go,
Do we try it?
let's try. Let me find that one. Back to major. Herman, that was great.
Thank you so much. That taught me so much so quickly. Oh my God. I never knew how that was the magic of at least getting the right feel.
You had some good things going on. I was smiling and digging it. That was fantastic.
That was awesome.
Ooh. Okay, you want to see a double neck? Let's see.
Yeah, I can't let you go before I see that double neck or everybody asking for this. What is that monster at the back? We gotta see it.
Well, this is I was doing a video for my Werewolves of Portland album. The song Werewolves of Portland. I wanted to have both my son and I in it together, and he's 6 years old. He's a little guy. So I had the big double neck, and I asked Ibanez to make a little one for him. And the whole video is shot in silhouette. So the guitar, it only needs to be the right shape. Like the paint job doesn't matter. And I was in a hurry, so I said, like, can you guys make me a double neck in 2 days? And I said, just grab a couple micro guitars, chop them in half, and and it doesn't have to play or work. They sent it up, and I loved it because it's got like this cool kind of. Where they had to sand it and put filler in, and it's got a real personality. And so what I ended up doing is I made the bottom neck as a 6-string, so I can just play that normal. And then the top neck is a 3-string, so I've got a low E, middle E, and a high E, and then you just stretch out in a triad. And all of a sudden you can do like these ripping triad arpeggios. It's only good for that one lick, but it's such a good lick that it's worth having.
Very cool, very cool. Thanks for showing me that. And dude, thank you so much for your time coming to hang here on Twitch with me. I mean, that is just
I didn't know about Twitch, so thanks for turning me on to that, and thanks for figuring out how to jam, remotely. I didn't know that was possible. So that's really cool.
Thanks again for donating that amazing guitar for the fundraiser.
Yes, thanks everybody for watching, and have a wonderful day.
And I'll see you later, Paul. Right? I'll catch you later. Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Evan.
you.
All right,
Talk to you soon.
I'm gonna press the
Bye.
leave button.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.